Greetings, my malice Metroidvania maniacs. My name is Primacon, and today I'm here to talk about the highly anticipated Metroidvania with a crow. That's right, there's a bunch of hodgepodge going around in the Crowsworn community, and the developers Mongoose Rodeo put out a beautiful Kickstarter update detailing everything that's been going on and giving us some insight on development processes and release date for Crowsworn. Very interesting stuff, but to give you the brass tacks to catch you up to speed on this Netflix series, Crowsworn has a demo that you cannot play right now unless you happen to be a Kickstarter backer. I think some backers were promised access to the Crowsworn beta exclusive and they paid for that premium. And now that the Kickstarter campaign is over, that demo has been locked up behind an unattainable paywall. The problem isn't that you have to pay to access it, the problem is you literally physically cannot do that because the Kickstarter is over. Mongoose Rodeo put out a survey asking their backers if they would be okay if they put out another mini Kickstarter campaign that is. You know, just so that more people can access the demo because they've been getting a lot of requests. But then some people thought that they're just doing that because they ran out of money and they need more funding. I always thought that that was really baffling. The game raised over $1 million. Do you know how absurd that is? Hollow Knight is a game that ran out of funding and it turned out to be a masterpiece, one of a lifetime of a game. Hollow Knight didn't even raise 100k. It was in a ballpark of 50 to 60,000, I believe. Crowsworn made $1 million. No shot in any shape or form they're running out of money. Those developers are set right now. But rightfully so, a lot of confusion happened and some fans even thought that they're gonna delay the game because they're running out of funding. So thankfully Mongoose Rodeo put out an update clarifying the whole situation, so even if you are confused by my little intro, everything is going to be cleared up and there's some great insight over here and talks of release date as well. So let's get into it. You and I grab a coffee. I got mine right here. I physically cannot function without it and I'm not an addict. Before anyone say that in the comment sections, I see you. Mini campaign survey by Mongoose Rodeo put out literally today. Update 35. Greetings, wonderful backers. It appears the survey we released yesterday has led to a bit of confusion, and we just wanted to touch base and address some of the concerns some backers have been expressing. First of all, to get things out of the way, we wanted to address the blunder on our end. Well, I guess it's technically my end, since the brainchild was mostly my idea, Alex, and so I bear the blame for it. As some of you have pointed out, we only get to send out one survey apparently, and we kind of wasted it yesterday. So Kickstarter apparently only allows one survey, which is bizarre. I don't know why that's a thing. So that's the egg on my face. In most cases, this could have been really annoying to try and rectify later, but thankfully, we never intended to use the Kickstarter survey system as all of our backer information collection to date has been on Fangamer's end. I didn't even know that that was a thing, that backer information is collected through Fangamer. That's news to me. And also, yeah, no wonder you didn't want to use the Kickstarter survey system, it fucking sucks. Those who have backed at the plush/t-shirt tier will know what I'm talking about. We prefer to do it this way as it makes the fulfillment process a lot easier and the paper trail cleaner. So TLDR, we wasted a survey, but we never intended to use it. Now, to address some of the questions and concerns that were sparked by the nature of the survey, two questions basically seem to summarize the major concerns. Question number 1. Why do you want to run a mini campaign? We don't. It's extra time and effort and we don't need it at this point. Simply put, the survey was asking backers if they would be opposed to us running a mini campaign so that people who discovered the Kickstarter campaign once it was over or didn't have the funds to back during the time we were running it could get a second chance to get access to the beta build/demo. We get continuous messages from people who express interest in late backing or regret in missing the initial campaign. They come through Kickstarter messaging, emails, Twitter, and even Discord DMs. Over time, it's become a bit disheartening simply saying sorry can't help you. So that's what I was talking about earlier, that they just want a way to give these new fans a way to access the demo because A, it's fucking hype and one of the best things I've ever played, and B, Crowsworn's fandom keeps increasing over time, which is surprising because it already has $1 million in funding, but this game just keeps getting bigger. A lot of Kickstarters run slacker backer programs or backer kits to try and alleviate these issues. Due to third-party agreements we are committed to and can't talk about, this is out of the question for us. It always has been. So I think what they're talking about right here is basically you can have backer kits, but I feel like they're on demand, so they'll have to manually send the demo out to everyone where they want to automate it, so they want to get into that. No thanks. Some folks have read into it as a plea for more funding, which has led some to believe that we are running out of funds. This could not be further from the truth. truth. Yeah, no shot. They were $1 million, man. $1 million doubloons. I'm well aware that with the way the world is today, it is fashionable and mostly accurate to assume the most nefarious intentions when money is involved. But you'll just have to take my word that that's not the case here. What we would like to do is release the demo freely on Steam, but that would incredibly be disrespectful towards the backers that pledge the extra cash at the beginning to get access to the beta build tier. Okay, so this clears up my confusion, because there was a beta build tier that you have to pledge to get access to it. So yeah, I feel like that'll be such a spit in the face to all those people who did that. Now, I know the counter argument being that, well, they paid for a premium to get access to it early, like way early. I'm talking months to a year earlier than everyone else, so it's fair now that they release it for free to everybody on Steam. I feel like as a developer, you would do that. Like, they just said that they would love to do that, but they also don't want to disrespect the backers, which I feel like that's really good for a developer to just stand up so strong and firm to defend their own backers and ask the backers if they're okay with it. Frankly, what they should be doing though, because they're surveying people, they should ask their backers if they're okay with this, that the demo to be freely available on Steam. Because if they're okay with it, which I feel like most sensible people would, then this is the best solution, because not only it gives most eyes to the game, it deters all the weird conspiracy theories of people saying that they're just milking their fans for even more money, and I feel like having your beta exclusive a whole year or so in advance to the backers is more than good enough for their pledge. But then again, I'm not saying they should decide that big call, but at least give the backers a chance to tell you that the demo should be freely available on Steam, you know what I mean? It would effectively be spinning on the trust they put in us initially and their hard-earned cash they forked up early. We're not in the business of doing that. Exactly, don't do it, but ask your backers if they want to do it, you know? Because I feel like that would be the best of both worlds, to have it free on Steam. We thought having a 30-day mini campaign would be a good way for people to procure the demo in a limited time span. This would give latecomers a second chance, but also being respectful to the folks at the beta build tier. Plus, truthfully, the only self-serving element here is that releasing the demo to more folks would undoubtedly be great marketing and PR for us. That's it. Exactly, and I feel like, again, to hone down the point, this would be even better marketing if it was free on Steam. We could do so much with it, and I feel like most backers would be okay with it, and if they're not, then you could do the mini campaign, you know what I mean? But I feel like you should ask. Truthfully, we read that. If any of you backers have ideas of other ways we could deal with this demo issue, feel free to share it with us. We're always interested in and open to feedback. Well, there's my feedback. What is the status of development of the game? Now, this is really interesting. I want to get into the meat and potatoes of this because it gives really good, transparent insight of how long these indie games take to make. And before you say it, I'm not gonna draw any parallels to Team Cherry and Hollow Knight Silksong. Different developers, different teams, they have different ways of working, so there's no point in me comparing apples to oranges. But if you want to infer some information out of it and impose it and, like, you know, project it upon Silksong yourself, feel free to do so. Wink wink, nudge nudge. Development is going well. We don't have any hiccups. Things are going as smoothly as they can. The game is just massive, and the quality we are aiming to produce just takes time. Very important statement. There's no hiccups. The game isn't cancelled. There's nothing going on. There wasn't a big fallout between Mongoose Rodeo. It just takes time. Understandably, some backers are now concerned about the development status of the game. This either stems from the false belief that we may be running out of funds, or from the fact that we're talking about releasing demos rather than full game when we're 9 months post the initial estimate release date, right? Like, oh, they missed the release date by almost a year. What's going on? I've honestly done my best to be as upfront and open about the status of development and explain why things are taking longer, and also address why the initial projected release date was unavoidably misleading. I'll try to go over this again in a concise and precise manner as I can. Pay attention, this is important. When the Kickstarter campaign was initially launched, we were aiming to raise about $125K to create the game we had envisioned at the time. This was the game that was scheduled to release December 2023. Once a Kickstarter page is approved and launched, it is impossible for us to make any changes on our end. If you want proof we can't change the page, go look in the Kickstarter page now and you'll see the video. Clash still says only 1 hour left. Yeah, we can't change that. Yeah, that confused me too. I got bamboozled by that. We raised more than 10 times what we initially asked for. It stands to reason the game we initially pitched is not the same the game that we are making now. Scope increasing over time, changing the expectations of release date. you know? Level of quality isn't on the same scale. The money affects everything. Animation, enemy design, level design, mechanics, size of the world, etc, etc. All of this takes time to develop. This is simply the reason why everything is taking longer. Quality takes time. So basically, their initial scope of the game in terms of everything, animations, enemy design, you know, level design, mechanics, size of the world, it just grows tenfold when you realize just how much money you have, and then you don't have to be constraining yourself to any time limits. I know it's easy to just throw words around and inflate things, so I'll try and use recent footage that we've posted on Twitter to give a proper example of why things take so much time. So this is the footage that I went over in a previous video. This was the little wait, let's watch it real quick. It's this area where there's the ground and the ceiling is made of tank shells, and you have this flying bastards with flamethrowers. Like, honestly, this looks so cool. I didn't even know these things could fly. And did you see that? Holy shit, you could throw your sight and then hit it so that it goes further. That is so cool. Unless I'm seeing something that's not there. Get him! Nice. So yeah, I'm going to go over all of this. I went over this in my previous video, but this is a really cool thing to say. You see how meaty the combat feels? And even if you compare this clip to the original clips that they put out when they just put out the first Kickstarter page, you can see the up in quality, like in animation, sound design, just the feel of the game, and just the fluid animations. It feels so good. Like, you can throw your fucking scythe and then hit it. Like, that's so cool. Let me see that again. This. Boom. Boom. You can shoot your scythe in the air and it makes it go. That is so incredible. These droids are considered basic enemies. They can dodge, go into flight mode, land and sweep towards the ground, fire semi-homing projectiles, decide to land and go into ground mode, torch forward, try to melee punch you, melee punch barrels, torch and explode barrels, and all of these decisions are made based on player actions and environmental conditions. So much complex enemies. And yeah, I think I got everything. Each of those states ties into each other state. As you might imagine a tree, each of these states has animations of higher than conventional frames to it. This enemy on its own, not Loki, has over 120 frames worth of animation. Also, as mentioned before, these droids can recognize opposing factions and fight with them as well. That's so cool. You can have it's like Elden Ring. You know, in Elden Ring you can walk up to the beastmen fighting the soldiers of Godric. This like that's so cool. When things are this complex, they also take longer to debug and make sure everything is polished and feeling good. This is the kind of game we're aiming to make. There's also a small sample of environmental level design mechanics here. The player is able to knock those barrels and shoot them to explode for a huge damage. All of these mechanics take time to prototype, develop, and polish. Yeah, and they look freaking cool, by the way. You guys are doing a great job in making you just feel like a badass. You can also look into the render detail level of the backgrounds, assets in the game. This level of quality takes time to achieve. Yeah, it's incredible. And as an aside, I really don't want to come off arrogant or conceited. I can speak. We're just very confident in and proud of what we're making. You guys should be. Incredible. I'm telling you, I'm fucking hyped, man. We believe in the quality of the work. It's one of the key reasons why doing this for so long doesn't burn us out. We feel it's all worth it. So it's not burnout. There's no hiccups. It's just that the scope of the game is far beyond what you and I think, and quality takes time, and they're doing the best they can. Interesting. Anyways, a bit of a long one here, but hopefully addresses everything. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please do let us know about them. As stand, we're always open and interested in your feedback. Until next time, thank you all for understanding and support. It goes without saying we couldn't be doing this without all you. Mongoose Rodeo. Again, there's no mention of a release date, but I feel like this explains everything, and it makes the wait for Crowsworn a lot easier. I've been saying this, do not expect this game to launch in early 2025. I think the earliest we can expect this game is late 2025 or even as far away as 2026. The Crowsworn is nowhere near completion. Their two biggest giveaway is, well, A, they just talked about how they're how much work it takes, and you know that they're just passionately working on the game. There's no burnout, there's no hiccups, but it's just gonna take time. And B, they're still in talks of releasing the beta to people and how to get more people to play the beta. If this game was anywhere near completion, they wouldn't be talking about it, and they just said it right here too. We're talking about releasing demos rather than full game when we're 9 months past the initial estimate release release date. So it's a completely different game now than that was initially promised on the Kickstarter. It's much bigger in scope, and I feel like this is amazing, incredible communication by the developer team. This absolutely puts the expectations in text, it clarifies everything, and my only feedback to the devs is to reconsider asking your backers the question that if they're okay with releasing everything for free on Steam, because I feel like they got their initial, you know, exclusive access to the demo, and if everyone could play it now on Steam rather than having another mini campaign, that would be great. But if the backers don't want that, that's absolutely fair. That's for them to decide, because at the end of the day, they're the one who paid for it, they're the one who funded it, and I really salute Mongoose Rodeo for just standing firm and having the back of their backers, no pun intended, through all this complicated stuff. But yeah, I'll keep you guys updated if we have any further information on what's happening with the mini campaign and how you can access the demo as soon as I possibly can. I really want more people to try it. It's incredible. I may stream it again soon because there was one boss that I couldn't beat because of skill issue. So I might overcome my skill issue and finally beat that boss. But yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel to support, and I'll see you guys soon with a new one. Primacon signing out.